Minera IRL is a precious metals and mining development and exploration company, and it's got proven reserves in Argentina and Peru. We're talking now to the chairman of the company, Courtney Chamberlain. Welcome.
Thank you.
You've got cash flow already coming into the company, which is being pumped back into the business. What's your strategy?
Well, Courtney, which is our operating mine in Peru, has been going for 3 years now, and it's been a little gem. It's provided strong cash flow. It was never intended to be the company maker, but it was intended to provide the springboard for the next generation of mines. We're currently generating about 40 million in sales from Courtney a year, and it's costing us about $13 million in mine production costs. So out the mine gate, we're making $27 or $28 million. That runs the company, and it pays for exploration, our community development programs, and so forth. It doesn't quite pay for the next generation of mines, but it goes a long way toward that. So the cash flow has been really important to our strategy.
In June, you unveiled a significant resource upgrade at the Olachea project in Peru, an increase of some 20%, I believe. But now you've announced a positive feasibility study. How much further on does this take you?
I think it takes us a long way, so particularly for a company like ourselves. This is a very substantial project. We've been drilling Olachea for 3 years now. We've made the discovery there, and we've already got an indicated resource of 1.4 million ounces, another 300,000 ounces in inferred. The deposit is open in all directions, and so this project is going to grow. It's an orogenic deposit, and these are generally very substantial deposits. Now, we've been working on the pre-feasibility for the last 18 months or so, and it's coming together very nicely. It's being badged by AMIC, which is one of the world's major engineering companies. It demonstrates a very robust project with an internal rate of return of over 20%. It's low cost. It's in the order of $430 cash operating cost, and it's a long life mine. We currently have 9 years of mine life with the existing reserves that we now have. But because of the open-ended nature, it's going to go on for a lot longer than that, I believe, and offers a substantial upside potential. We've used $1,100 gold price as our base case. That's a 3-year running average for the last 3 years, whereas you might say that's conservative. We believe in being conservative and working our economics out, but anywhere near the current $1,600 gold price, the economics look fantastic for Olachea.
And what sort of cost increase are you likely to have to incur if you go on with this level of exploration?
Well, our exploration burn at Olachea is about $4 million a year. And we consider that as an ongoing program to give us the ounce upside. In terms of the project itself, it won't increase the capital or operating cost with the current predicated project, because the first thing that we would do would add additional mine life. But we're also going to leave room in the design of the plant so that 2 or 3 years into the operation, if we want to increase production, we can put in another grinding bay, we can put in some more leach tanks and so forth. So the open-ended potential with more exploration discovery success allows us to both increase mine life and increase production rate.
The other thing I should mention as well, I know that you're using a gold price of $1,100 an ounce, aren't you, for your targets, your projections. That's some way off the current gold price. How do you feel about the current gold price, or do you not bother looking at that necessarily? Do you stick to your...
I feel very good about it, because at our
But do you think it's sustainable? I mean, or you're using this $1,100 an ounce, which I think is a 3-year average, isn't it?
I'll come back to that, but just to answer your question about how I feel about it, we're selling spot at Courtney. We're $9 million ahead in our budget just on gold prices this year. But in terms of longer term projections, I come from a mining company background. You generally want to be conservative about it. The $1,100 is the 3-year running average for the last three years. The run-up has been quite amazing. And so you're right, we're using a price, current price of gold is some 50% above what we're using, because we're using $1,100 as our base case. It's not unusual for what the other companies are using for their feasibility studies and their projections at the moment.
I want to move on to Argentina if I can. How significant are your operations in Argentina to the company?
Very significant. It's a new business unit that we acquired about 18 months ago. Mm-hmm. We took over a AIM-listed company called Hidefield Gold. they had two things that attracted us there, and I know that area of the world from previous lives.
This is Patagonia, isn't it?
This is Patagonia. I had some experience there in the 1990s, and I like the area very much. But Hidefield brought along about 360,000 ounces of gold, of which 200,000 was in the measured and indicated category. We saw an opportunity for a rapid development for a mine down there. So we've got a feasibility study going on what we call the Don Nicholas project.
I was going to say it's a Don Nicholas project.
It's Don Nicholas, yes, and that feasibility will be done before the end of the year. But the other thing that's really attracted us is that we have acquired 270,000 hectares of ground, the third largest ground exploration license holding in Patagonia. And it's just not ground. The exploration potential is fantastic. We've already announced one new discovery called Escondido. We've got several outcropping veins that have got gold in that we're about to start drilling. So we're spending probably $6 million there this year on exploration. We're very excited about the opportunities there.
I want to go back, if I can now, to the funding of your future exploration. How are you going to do this, assuming your current income from the gold that you're already pumping or you're bringing up is not going to cover all of the future expenditure? How are you going to cover that?
Yeah, that's a good question. Certainly Koyawami runs a business, but it doesn't build the new mines. That's in a nutshell what I'm saying. And so our current $25 million in cash in the bank will be progressively drawn down. Now we expect to have the Don Nicholas feasibility study done by around the end of the year. And sometime, which is yet to be defined, we will need to provide funding to build that mine, which we would hope to build late next year and then put into production in 2013. We have a number of banks that are either current shareholders or are expressed interest in providing debt facilities for us, so we can look at least a component as debt. We also would probably take additional equity off the market if the conditions are right for doing that. So the strategy is, at the moment, a mix of debt and equity.
Share price. Got to talk about this because obviously there is an awful lot more upside to the gold price, which you are going to be able to sell into than your conservative estimates are using. 75-80 pence a share. Broker Fox Davis puts a price target of 123 pence a share. Is that over the top, or do you think there is?
Not at all. No, I've been making a comment in these meetings in London consistently that I think the company is going extremely well, but our share price isn't.
Why?
We were at £1 at the beginning of the year, and for two reasons we've been languishing. One is a general malaise in the market. It hasn't been strong recently.
Is that particularly for juniors? Because I noticed that the juniors are more under pressure mainly than the majors.
Yeah, possibly so. But the other one is that we're based in Peru, and our most important jewel in the crown is in Peru, and our existing mine is in Peru. And the political situation in Peru has been somewhat concerning to the market. A new president, President Humala has been elected and will be sworn in, and that was a concern to the market. Now, we are taking a very optimistic view of that. Just in the last 24 hours, there's been three key posts announced. The director of the Reserve Bank, the Minister for Economy, and the Prime Minister, and they're all very good appointments which are going to look toward maintaining the economic model that's been so successful in Peru in the past. So I think that the market has been drawn down because of the concern about the politics in Peru, but I think that'll recover quickly because we're seeing a lot of positive signs there.
Okay, well, good luck while you're in London, and be interested to see how the share price does develop, bearing in mind the uprise in the price of gold. But Courtney Chamberlain, thanks for joining me, the chairman there of Minera IRL.
This film is for educational and leisure purposes only. Proactive Investors does not provide investment advice. The company is a publisher and is not registered with or authorized by the Financial Services Authority. Please refer to the full terms and conditions on the Proactive Investors website.